But let's look at my artist that's in our Zimbabwe. My artist which we have in Zimbabwe. I've noticed that it's only in Zimbabwe where artists cannot have a political choice or participate or have space. What do you think about the political space in Zimbabwe? Does it allow my artist to actually be?
Ngatitangei tinoona ma-rights ema-citizens. Tisatatarisa kuti uri munhu wezanu, uri munhu wetriple C, uri munhu weMDC, Mavambo kusile Don, Noah Manyika, Nkosana Moyo, Chapman, you name them. It doesn't matter your political affiliation. Tisatatarisa zvese zozo. Nenda uKristu mbazere zayo jaere kwamgodi doesn't matter. Johan Masoe kutanga echipiri echitatu echina echishanu echinomwe kusvika kupfumbamwe gumi zana. It doesn't matter. Tragona ma rights ema citizens ndeapi. Ma rights ako, right? In fact, there topic yatu discuss here. There are 3 fundamental rights and which apply to every citizen. So I'm going to read this. Number 1, Hansi, freedom of conscience. Hansi, every person has the right to freedom of conscience, which includes freedom of thought, opinion, religion or belief, and B, freedom to practice and propagate and give expression to their thought. Hey, opinion, religion, and belief, whether in public or private, whether alone or together with others. Hey, number 2, every person has the right to freedom of expression, which includes freedom to seek, receive, and communicate ideas and other information, freedom of artistic expression, hey, and scientific research or creativity. I love this constitution. Umana dai mtemo waitedzera mnyika yedu ingaderi nyika yechipikigwa zveshwa nyika yemuhuchi nemukaka. Mtemo uyo wakabva wazoziva kuti tikapa vanhu ma freedoms esaya vamwe vacho vanogona kuzokura musoro. Saka zvinorevera kuti sezoudi ma freedoms esaya wakuti madiro aJeorgina aiwa zvanzi nemutemo. Freedom of expression and freedom of the media exclude incitement to violence, advocacy of hatred or hate speech, malicious injury to a person's reputation or dignity, or malicious or unwarranted breach of a person's right to privacy. Lastly, political rights, which basically answers topic yedianas. Every Zimbabwean citizen has the right to free, fair, and regular elections for any elective public office established in terms of this constitution or any other law, and to make political choices freely. Munhu wese wemuZimbabwe ane mvumo enshrined in this constitution to make political choices freely. Saka kana munhu achimake political choices freely, it means akati ndosapota triple C, hapana munhu ane mvumo yekuya kaaro zoromuti iwe se uchisapota triple C. Akati ndinosapota ZANU, ipapa manje pandopa ndinozovengewa nevamwe vangu dzimwe dzacho shamwari dzangu futi, some of them my family. Munhu akati inini pasine mandu akada mtemo uri kuti munhu akadaro Zigo i-right yake, he has a right to make political choices freely. Hansi, subject to this constitution, every Zimbabwean has the right to form, to join, or to participate in the activities of a political party or organization freely.
I think the majority of people who are watching this video, they've got a particular kind of feeling that they have towards ZANU-PF, and they wouldn't see it as morally upright for anyone to be supporting ZANU-PF. So, according to Constitution irokuverengwa na Tafi the man, yes, Zimbabwe, everyone has got the right to choose the party ada kusupporta, including ZANU-PF. So munakati, inini I'm going to support ZANU-PF. Whether I feel good about ZANU-PF or not, whether ZANU-PF yakambonditadzira kumashure ekure kana kuti yanonditadzira, it doesn't matter. Munye is his or her right to support that party, as much as it is also your right to support Triple C or Monzora or any other party, irregardless of how you feel.
Pursuant to that point, Zigo, it then falls rightly, perfectly as if God arranged this. The question that you had asked, could you paraphrase a freedom of conscience? Right? Conscience is basically someone's sense of right and wrong. Basically, in simple terms, one sense of right and wrong. Kana tikazvitaura in layman's terms, right? So, munhu ndine freedom yakuchoose kuti chi right ichi hachisi right for me, relative to me. Chandisingabvumidzwe nemutemo kuzoipractiza kana kuita zvimwe zvinhu zvinozoita injure or hurt or disturb marights eumwe munhu. Remember, marights ako haasi exclusive to you only. Unongoita zvaunoda. Kana marights ako akuzokanganisa marights evamwe, aiwa ipapo mutemo unozviramba. Unobva watoti homakasa. Zigo, I know this is a podcast discussion, but I feel like preaching, Zigo.
If you've got the nature of a preacher, that is how you preach.
So, vanoboyeka, those who feel offended, vakona holy 10 nachiti idipe vanonga chiboyekana holy 10 achisupporta in Greek vese vana Enzo vana Kiki Bed kumashure vese vavo. Are they justified kuboyekana kurwadziwa? Are they justified? Yes, and I'll explain why. They are 100% justified. I understand why they are angry. Vakaona only 10 I support ZANU-PF. I understand 100%. Ingani munondiziva ndino criticize ZANU-PF left, right and center daily, right? Chief amongst the countless reasons why they are angry is because of the behavior of VNA. Now, case study number 1, Winky D. Now, Zigo, Winky D anakuti pamberi ne Triple C. Let's get this out of the way. Winky D anakuti pamberi na Chamisa, anakuti shanduko Zimbabwe, vaka Zimbabwe vaka, vota Zimbabwe vota, simuka Zimbabwe simuka. Anambodaro, anamboti pasi na Mnangagwa, anakuti pasi ne ZANU-PF. Let's get that out of the way. Winky D simply spoke the truth. He simply spoke truth to power. He simply criticized government, right? And they interpreted that to mean he supports Chamisa. That was their interpretation of him criticizing government. Now, let me play the devil's advocate and say, okay, Tom Bot, which it's not, please. Ngapa JK Papo. It's not. That is not the case. But Tom Bot, it was true that Winky D was a Triple C supporter. Kudara mtemo wato taura kudara kuti right yake Winky D kuti asupporte chi Triple C kana dai ai supporter, which he does. He has never come out to say he supports it, but Tom Bot he does right yake, right? But pano boa ma support Triple C now kana neno futi zvinondi boa ngoti nini hangu but
yes.
Pano boa ma support Triple C ndebe kuti hurumende inoti ukasupporta ZANU-PF, well done. Unotobudiswa pa ZBC left, right and center. Asi chingo support opposition. Kubva kwanza mazibvumudzwe. Munogo support opposition zvakadii. You are not patriotic. Ndimivatengesa ngweyo ndo vafana imimi takugura imsoro imimi. You know what I mean?
Yes, I get it.
Zvonze 30 pieces of silver. Chichi vatengesi. You know what I mean? Ndo zvinobohwa. Ndo zvinoita kuti vatsigiri ve Triple C vaboyekane. But inina I'm a realist, Zigo. Ndagara ndataura kuti their anger is justified and the government is to blame for that. But here is the very important point, Zigo. Whereas their anger is justified, what they then do after getting angry is misplaced. Their anger should not be unto Holy 10 and Kiki Bed S. Enga yavo ngavamire ngavambochila enga yavo pairuramba ichikwira Zigo vachinyatsa kuinzwa kusvika gurokuro ngavarambe vakaisapresa kudai suva Zigo vakaitsikirira kusvika musi wa23 musi wa23 vobva vaitora enga yaya vachinyatsa kubweka noti holy 10 zveshuwa angasapote ZANU-PF zveshuwa wekanjiva uyu vobva vatora enga yaya voisa mupeni vobva vatora peni yaya vobva vaenda paballot paper vobva vati x pamukomana. They should direct their anger to the government, not to Holy 10, not to Kiki Bedes. This is an unpopular truth, Zigo izvinhu izvi zvinoitwa kuti ndivengwe zvandiri kukuudza iyo Zigo. I have done a lot of
what I would actually have expected from you was to say people should actually be angry at Holy 10 and Kiki Bad S. They should actually be ready to cancel them. They should be ready to cancel culture. Do the people, do they have that right to express themselves through cancel culture?
Right. Zimbabwe cancel culture haishandi. Cancel culture zvachimbosiyira America nedzimwe.
I was actually doing a video and it's on Anglati. But in Zimbabwe, if they like your music, they will threaten to boycott you or to cancel you. But they will not. What they will do, they will listen to music. You're gonna kutonga kwaro gamba song guy. You know, song on the boy na chero di yaimbirwa ED, but song guy. You know ndinakidza. You get, so they can't cancel you if you have got enough talent, if you are entertaining to them, but they will just get angry for a moment. So you were saying it doesn't work in Zimbabwe, and
yes, cancel culture doesn't work in Zimbabwe. Precisely one of the reasons they are toitaura kudhara maZimbabweans ndambotaura tichangotanga as a disclaimer kuti Zimbabwe is a very peculiar country mudhara. Nothing makes sense muZimbabwe. Tofunga dictionary Zimbabwe tofunga kubvisa sense because they have nothing makes sense in Zimbabwe. Kamekacho, you know, this culture katinako of moving on faster than 5G Wi-Fi. Yes. Because we move on too quickly, we quickly forget zvinhu important, and we normally concentrate on useless things anyway. Tinongo concentrate nechinhu chiri useless tobva tamove on quickly kuna another useless thing tichingodaro takaenda mudhara ndo life yedu semaZimbabweans. Saka that's why cancel culture will never work in Zimbabwe. Why? Because tikatsamwira Holy 10 nas mangwana tomuka akamuka akaisa chimwe chihiti mudhara tenda kuti hachi mfana chinogona maichi.
And when you say we actually quickly move on, even nyango zviri useless zvacho or whatever, because when I look at the example of Job Scala, it's very painful, but the reality on the ground is people have moved on. And then Badata no, when they just stand, you know, Paga my Titi when she was arrested, I was saying the way that people are in solidarity with my Titi, and which I understand, if you are a fan, you have to be in solidarity probably with your idol. But I was just thinking, if people could devote that attention also the same to Job Scala, that could make a difference. But now I can actually see when they've moved on from my Titi watch. It's like if you are deleted from the space here Zimbabwe, we will just forget about you.
Yes, indeed, Zigo, indeed. So culture yemuZimbabwe umpimpindo godo kusawirirana kusaita chinhu chimwe chete, pull him down syndrome, you know, it's part at the end of the day. In fact, Zigo, if I was to sum up state, yes, Zimbabweans, I would just say, at the end of the day, we are Zimbabweans. You know, Albert Einstein, through his theory of relativity, he came up with this, the most, you know, famous equation in science and mathematics, or let's just say science. E is equal to mc squared, which basically means kuti energy is equal to mass times the speed of light squared. What that theory simply means is energy and mass being matter are one and the same thing. They are a different state of the same thing, right? You can change mass into energy and energy into mass. It's one and the same thing. So Irungo Tower is a theory that literally sums up everything, space-time as we know it. Now, I would do pretty much the same thing in saying, if I could come up with one line, not describe Zimbabweans is, at the end of the day, we are Zimbabweans. Now, tungori mazimba. Why? Zigo, it takes a foreigner to see how weird things are in Zimbabwe. Yes. We don't see it. That's how painful it is. Tiritega, we don't. It's normal. Zigo ukapinda muroom inonhuwa. Right? Tomboti matama kubva kukwadzana extension. Maenda kukwadzana 5. Upon entering Mbamova, I realized, imba iyi iri kunhuwa ine kamwe kasimero keiraki kaimbwa na Elliot Manyika kaiti Tony Blair va kumhepo une kasimero keiraki. Kuna kasimero kasiri kuita murumu, right? Mumbotira kukwesha mawindo kukorobha kudira zvima perfume chichichichi. But kasimero koramba, mova matanga kuregret amana takabvirei ku-extension. Haimba yaiti, right? But 1 month, 2 months, 5 months, 7 months, 1 year, kasimero kaya munopesera musingakanzwa. It's not that kasimero kabva. No. You have adjusted, you have acclimatized. Zigo, in fact, Oxford Dictionary pane definition ya adjustment, we must put a Zimbabwean flag right next to the definition of adjustment. Adjusting to nonsense. We as Zimbabweans, I am perplexed, appalled as to why we haven't gotten into the Guinness Book of Records in respect to this category alone of adjusting to nonsense. In my analogy, ndapa Zigo kuti, after a while, mnui unopesa usingasanua. Why? Because we adjust. Your state of being, your anatomy, your everything that makes you. Zvajaira mnui, zvoita unge hauchanua. Asi vavakidzani vako. Kana someone else akazopinda mbamba akanovati, mbamba yenyu munonua. But
wangu.
You know, but you why? Because was Jaira.
I actually have a friend who is a ZANU-PF apologist, and as we have actually taught us that no matter how you feel about a certain political party, we should reserve our feelings and respect their rights to be. But there's a point that I want to probably you to explain, which always puzzled me. This is ZANU-PF apologist, someone who loves ZANU-PF to the heart. But he also complains about how Zimbabweans are very toxic. Says Zimbabweans are very toxic. If I post anything, they are toxic. If I say this, they are toxic. And the question that I always asked was, now, yes, I understand Zimbabweans, they are very toxic. But where did that toxicity come from? Who do we attribute that toxicity to? If Zimbabweans are angry, if they are generally angry all the time, you see they are ready to just base their anger on anything that avails itself. They are ready to do that. Where did that anger come from? And if you say your anger is misdirected, where was it supposed to be directed to? There should be surely someone at the end of the day.
Zigo. To quote the words of the great Enzo Aisha, vanhu vakaziva kuti hauroi vanokutsemukira kuti tsemu. The people who are supposed to be angry at, who we are supposed to be angry at, are not angryable. That is not, don't look for that word in the dictionary, it does not exist. I am an artist, so I am allowed to make words. Okay? I said, the people we are supposed to be angry at are not angryable.
Yeah, I see. I think I get what you mean. So,
people, that's why the anger is misplaced, misdirected, is because vanhu vanyatsoziva zviri kuvatsamwisa chavakatsamwira. The people you should be angry at are ZANU-PF, not Enzo Aisha. Enzo Aisha is simply ari kushandisa right yake. Hate it or love it, me, I don't care if you hate me. I'm telling you the truth. Ikodzero yaEnzo kusapota ZANU. Iwo kana usingazifarire express it musi wa 23. Okay? Imi, I know. Listen, I understand. Zvinhu zviri painful kuti artist aite endorse a party inodzvanyirira vanhu. Zvinhu zviri painful. Zvinhu zvinogwadza. We know. I know, right? Kana neni agree nazvo. Do you think I like it when I see Enzo achiti hoyo kuzanu? I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm not going to lie, right? But at the end of the day, the law is the law. I am mature enough to understand that the law is the law, right? Zigo, isusu kana tiri kuti we are different. Tira kuchinja zvinhu. This message is directed to my CCC compatriots. If we are saying we are different than ZANU-PF, we want to usher in an order, a political order that is different to the one, different from the status quo, yeah? Traquita do things differently in all aspects of governance, right? We want a democratic government that respects the rule of law, that respects my rights, Evanu, right? That follows the constitution to the letter. If we are saying that is what we want, we had better start practicing it before we get into power. We had better, Wangu, you can't tell us that you start doing it before apinda. You see, so we don't want to replace ZANU-PF with another ZANU-PF. I have said in Inkuti, Chamisa's biggest problem when he becomes president is not fixing the economy. In fact, I wasn't even the first person to say this. His biggest problem is not even fixing the economy. It's fixing Zimbabweans. ZANU tichaibvisa. Asi ZANUism ndo chinhu chichanetsa kubvisa. You see, ZANU-PF benefits from the toxicity and the polarity of citizens. If we are toxic and polarized as we are, it means apana chinhu chimwe chete chatinoumba. Divide and rule tactics. Vanhu vari divided. Very easy, to separate. Very easy to oppress. Very easy to suppress. Very easy to depress. Very easy to impress. I'm rhyming shame.
It's an artist guy. You always have bars and they've got a rhyme note at the end.
So that is the problem, Zigo. So if we are serious, kana tiri kuti isusu tiri serious about being different kune ZANU-PF, let's act like it. And zvinorwadza. I know it. My CCC people, believe you me, kana neniwo mweya wacho unotombondibatawo. Ndinotombonzwa kuda kunyora kapost nditi but holy 10 unombotembei. But ndinozozidzora understanding that holy 10 he's simply exercising his right, and it's a right enshrined in the constitution. Mimi mungati muroti ZANU-PF iteedzere mutemo but mimi musingadi kuteedzera mutemo. Aiwa zvimwe zvacho ngatibudira naye pache. ZANU-PF ndo yega inofanira kuteedzera mutemo iri muZimbabwe. Isu semacitizens hatifaniri kuteedzera mutemo. Aiwa zvinogwadza. Unfortunately the law has no feelings. Ndo pakaipera mutemo ipapo. Anditi kana mimi muri kuti muri kuda democracy, ndo democracy yacho iyoyo. Unpopular opinion, Zigwa. Zvinhu izvi zvichandivengesa Zigo, but well, it is what it is.
And if you want to create a cultural environment of tolerance, you should start by being tolerant yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. But that brings me also to the next question that I want us to look at. Why do you think that young musicians, most of them young musicians, because of course we see a lot of anababashero, banemamu vechikuru. Yes, you see them attending my ZANU-PF events, you see them attending my event which can be quote unquote be labeled as political. So afanani independence is a non-political event, but most of the people who you find at an independence event, probably most of them will be ZANU-PF. Why is it my young musician right now, it seems like they are the ones who are overzealous or fanatic about their support for ZANU-PF? Why are they choosing ZANU-PF?
To quote, Ndambokota the great Enzo Aisha. Now I am quoting the great Wallace Chirimuko. aka Winkide tatanga kurwisana tega mahuti nematutsi echichi vobva vatorwa vobribe vobva vapiwa mafufu vobva vasinicha chichi ndozvazviri. Ndambotaura nyaya yekuti hurumende ZANU-PF benefits from the toxicity and the polarity, not only that, and the poverty. Toxicity, polarity, and poverty. Zigo, poverty is bad. You can't trust a poor man who is at the mercy of the political corrupt elite to make a rational political decision. I will say that again. You can't trust a poor man who is at the mercy of the corrupt politicians to make a rational political decision. Now, coming to your question, we all know that arts industry in Zimbabwe, in fact, atombona industry, ndikati arts industry ndenda kutonyeba. Chokwadi njokuti we don't have an industry when it comes to entertainment, right? Ma artists funga achievement. Inina, I'm also a content creator. My achievements until now industry yedu. Who brand ambassador we go to $200, $300, $500. Dara untonyora post. Zikasa shamisa za Jesu. Hashtag gurire nyasha. Abamuna apwa $200. But yeah. My small gains, mdara, you can't blame that person. Ndoza ziri mdara. Ndruku vapa zero. I was making $0. All of a sudden, the brand ambassador of Chakadero Limited. Yandipa $200. You cannot expect me to not celebrate. I'm going to. It's the same thing. You know, it one of my ghetto youths. Tora ma picture mtega. I don't know perform ku London. Vanhu vagara vachikwira ntega nomuti mfana anopengera uyu. Yeah, mukore uno uyu. 2023 munhu angatotora picture mtege.
I actually understand the feeling because I've been on a plane once and it was a 1-hour trip. I'm a picture not at all.
Exactly. Celebrating small gains because watangira pa zero. Dai wango chiziva munhu hepa akatangira. You would understand magnitude. You know, Zigo, magnitude is not about billions or trillions. You know, our journeys are different in life, Zigo. My frequencies are different in life, Zigo. Imiyawe testimony kwa uri maybe kutenga Lamborghini kuno umwe munhu kutengerwa itel kwete kutenga kutengerwa itel. It's a testimony angu na usimka mchurch ndira kutenda Mwari Baba muziye andayambofungidzira ndichabata phone muupenyu wangu sekuru vangu vari kuBotswana vakanditumira itel brand new. A testimony kwaari. Yo ukamuona munhu yachipa testimony yemuchechi, you look at them with nekonesi zofungidzira anopengera apengi. Iwo jeni yake ni jeni yako zvakatosiyana. Do not despise my gains evamwe vanhu, right? So anyway, I said all of that to say this kuti. You see, tiri kutambura Zigo. Ndozvazviri industry yedu haina mari. You know, haina ne talent room Zimbabwe vamwe vedu tingade tiri millionaires. You know, if things were supposed to be done the way they are supposed to be done, in a proper industry, corporate world, vachita pour the money in there, vanhu vachita appreciate local talent, vachitenga local music, masponsor vachisponsor, vanhu vachisponsor, vanhu vachitenga maLamborghini, maartists live vichiendeka. Tichitosa na Burna Boy, nana Potaran, Reng, whatever.
Pato ranking.
Yeah. Right. But that is not the case. Now, because we are general, artists edu ari pa zero. Vamwe vache maybe vava pa 0.1. Vachibeka koma. Because tukutangira pa zero and vachinji vedu tichiri pa zero, right? Now we have this political elite. Vari kumusoro isu tiri ku zero Zigo. Kuzasi uku kumachonyonyo. Ivo vari uku nema billions avo and there are millions. Right? Zigo mai vangu maybe vatori pa hospital bed kuparire nyato, maybe vari kugomo, maybe vari ku ameno kwavari, parikudwa mari, maybe hazvitombori zvekuti mai vangu vari kurwara, ndane 2 years 3 years 5 years wangu ndichiimba ndichiita mahits but handina mari, ndakuda kufamba nemota Zigo, ndiri kusekwa mastreets ndiye uya wekuimba mwana ndakubirai. Vanhu vakuexpecta kuti wakufanga ngo wapa neimwe level, wakufanga ufamba one mota uchigara pamba pari bo, but asiri izvo awa artist Zigo da uchiziva kumba kwema artist edu, ma celebrities edu Zigo, you will feel pity. Vemari vobva vauya zvakadaro Zigo, iwo wakufila pressure, wakuona kuti life yakufanga uchinja. Mana ndine mahits akawanda mana ndinopisa pa Power FM, mana ZFM inopengeswa nini dai pasina inini style
wati pressure nandafunga inonzi song yekuti uri kuassume kuti ndiri kutambura apa uriko ndotambura.
So saka ifunga kuti ndo zviri pa ground, all of a sudden kobva kwauya politician obva vanhu tokupa mota mbano stand tokupa mbano unofunga kuti aiwa, let's be realistic, vangani vedu vangarambe such a golden opportunity. Urupuwa mota, urupuwa mari, zvako zvarongeka, you are guaranteed of airplay come what may. Zvako zvichapushwa nemaboss. Wakutanga kuita mari, wakutowa pa stage yekutoti panoverengwa mbinga diki, zita rako rakutoverengwa ipapo.
Umbinga wemuZimbabwe haunetseka. Ndanichiona epost ranga rakaiswa paZim Celebs kutoti there was a lady, that voice note ranga riripo remusikana anga achiti you know pane friend yangu ine crash newe because inongoda munhu ane iPhone nemota. So you've got an iPhone and a car, to my ladies twese twe mulocation twakutokumhanyira anoona, and that is what an ordinary young Zimbabwean may not be able to get.
It's because vazhinji vedu tiri pazero, inyaya yekugara pazero Zigo, igara pazero because uri pazero ka standard rako riri very low, threshold, inyaya threshold Zigo. Kana munhu uri pazero standard rako riri low, you have a high tolerance for nonsense, and extremely Zigo, when it comes to tolerating vanhu vari pazero ndo vanhu vanotolerata nonsense manje. Why? But there's a catch though. They only tolerate nonsense from the people vane mari. You see? Whereas ukaenda kuna societies where avasi pa zero, vari kumsoro kwe zero mbichana, right? They have a low tolerance for nonsense, and standard is really high, right? So they don't fall for silly things, right? But because most of us tripa zero, first of all titanga nema artists acho, right? Any opportunity hawano yekuti achabva pazero end up, right? Anobva atanga akumajira saka ndinenge ndakutoti so vari pazero ndakutovashaindirawo ndakutovaudzawo chi, number one. Number two, even vacho vanoteerera music yangu vanenge vakunyatsobhilivha zveshuwa kuti ndakupisa, you know what I mean? Umpinga hwacho zvawataura kuti it doesn't take a lot to be a mpinga in Zimbabwe. Ungoita iPhone ikoko unotogona kutodiwa nebaby kuti uya neIphone, life yake yakarongeka because ane iPhone. Saka issue yepoverty Zigo, poverty is the biggest problem. Dai maartists edu achinyatsoita make proper money nemusic neart yavo, ma-content creators edu chaiyo, ma-actors and everything, we wouldn't fall for some of these silly gimmicks. You would have a conscience. Unfortunately, mtemo uri blind, mtemo unoti une freedom of conscience to choose right or wrong. Iso zviri kwauri, right? So because you have that freedom enshrined in the constitution, and because your standard rako very, 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 very low, right? You start making stupid decisions. You start turning a blind eye on the suffering of the people. You don't care kuti munhu ari kundibatsira uyu ari kuoppressa vanhu, as long as munhu yeye ari kukupa mari uripo, all of a sudden wakuignore vanhu vakakusimudza kuti iwo zonzi Russia's ningi holy kuti zonzi holy chakati.
Actually, sorry, let me interject you there. You said yes. Poverty is actually a bad thing which clouds that conscience, that freedom of conscience that you have. Actually, those who have got the power to change your life will actually make you a prisoner of their own conscience. And I've always used that point to explain how democracy may fail to work in an environment in even very poor. Very poor. And I'm putting a picture here. These are supporters of ZANU-PF who are being given low frechingwa. And it's much on but low frechingwa chete. But I've stayed in the rural areas where kungopiwa trip rekunzi turikukwidza mabhazi kuti muende kurally iri kune imwe kana uchibva kwaTsabo chino masvingo. First thing chinotokufadza ndiyoti akomana ndakapedzisira kukwira bhazi rini. Vanongorikwira bhazi vanoda kurova chiraundi. Maenda kuningi kwaya mamapiwa chicken in mamapiwa nike. So you see kuti the poor, they are very, very easy to manipulate because they are poor and they are misinformed. So those who have got the power to manipulate and misinform them, those are the ones who actually benefit from their conscience. And that exact thing, do I am rooted iri kuitika kuma artist edu futi because poverty ine ma levels ka. When I'm looking at munari poor ku WhatsApp ko kuma chonyonyo, then you know that munari kutambula. But there are people who actually look at me but so people can actually be looking at Zigo but Zigo platform ya Zigo ainetse. Chicha anogara chichemera. Zigo aruda Zoom. Mina ndimtengere Zoom H8. Yobe yangonzi. Mari 8Y yobe yatengwa. Next robo wanzi. Ita ED pay. So I just to think with that point cannot be overemphasized.
Exactly. Especially when poverty in my levels, very, very relevant. Even varombo to the last, kune wavo within urombo wacho uri last wananga ita uyari nani. You know, kwa mnotenda unokumbira hupu.
Statement anogara tara ndoti kazhinji kacho kumaraini kwako utori mbinga.
Exactly. You know, umbinga unosiyana wo. So saka vanhu vari kuask Nkosana Moyo said something very fundamental. Nkosana Moyo said people, generally speaking, if you look at it, are not really fighting to remove the system. They're fighting to be part of the system. That statement is very rich and revealing. Very, very revealing. Zigo. You realize kuti pamwe pacho vanhu pavanozonotuka kana kuti maititi vakamira na ED kana kuti Japraise akamira na Collins Mnangagwa kana kuti Holiday akamira na Collins pamwe pacho. Of course, kazhinji kacho varongobweka na kuti havana vanotidzvanyira but kamwe kacho kagodo. Yeah. Kuti dandandiri nini? Because why ndichidaro is because mukana iwoyo ukapiwa vazhinji havarambi. Varongotaurisa because mukana una kuya kwavari. My question still stands and remains. How many of us vanoti kana vadaidzwa ku State House namukuru vanoti me I'm a triple C supporter pamberi nemukomana ayo ndanda kuita chibhagera ndakuita sei kwenini pamberi nemukomana shanduka muZimbabwe vaka Zimbabwe vaka simuka Zimbabwe simuka shanda vota Zimbabwe vangani vedu vanodaro vashoma. The truth is vashoma.
And I actually think that is the truth that happened pane most of Triple C members of parliament who actually defected. Kazhinji kacho pamwe tinofunga kuti they were spies. Probably they were not. They were just given the opportunity to be near.
An opportunity you couldn't say no to. Yes, you are very right. It's not all of them were not defector. Vanga vari ma spies. Some of them, yes, but vamwe vacho here would offer that you couldn't say no to. Akanyatsozifunga akacalculate akati but mkomana chapindira apa akacalculate but yes zangu ndichavengwa nevanhu but jacuzzi ringi ravepo ndane mari dzangu mota yangu zvinhu zvese zvapo regai ndingoenda you know what I mean. So apiwa opportunity that he can't say no to. So ende izvozvo zvinonyanzo kuitiwa nevanhu vasiri principled, vanofunga nematumbu avo, people who are easily swayed by money. Ungoti pangoiswa huge figure, so pfungwa dzake hadzichashandi mushe, atodhanganyika, hachafungi zvakanaka. Why? Because paiswa mari. Vanhu vakadaro havasi principled, and it's good riddance actually kuti those people were defected, because you don't want to be led by people like that. People like that ndo good candidates of people wanozokonzeresa neo-colonialism. People like that, they will never go